oh wait, hold up. There's ways that we can all get to this bag. There's ways that we can package our expertise and no longer have to work a 9-to-5 to support our families to truly achieve financial and time freedom. What I decided to do is take all of my intellectual property, all the strategies that have allowed me to secure these contracts over the last 8 years, and devise them all into a mini mastermind. These are tested and proven strategies. If you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. Stop playing with yourself, okay? Stop playing with your future. Stop playing with your destiny. So let's get into 5 ways to secure corporate contracts and get the attention of executive buyers. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Banking on Cultura. I am your host, Victoria Jenn Rodriguez. And on this show, we talk about the vibrancy and complexity of Latino culture, entrepreneurship, and of course, all the bonchicha in between. We like to edutain, which means that we're going to educate you and we're going to entertain you at the same damn time, So I first want to take a moment to thank everyone who has been tuning in every single week, who has been leaving us reviews, your comments, resharing our stories, resharing our posts. It all matters, guys, because look, we are about to embark on our 2-year anniversary. This September marks 2 years since we launched. We've had over 25 million impressions. We've had multiple clips go viral. We were featured on the Sherry Shepherd Show, and our downloads continue to increase. And the feedback that we've been receiving from y'all is that you appreciate the content that we are delivering to you, and you actually look forward to this content every single week. And that really, really means a lot. So I just want to say thank you so much for holding us down, for including Banking on Cultura in your weekly, repertoire, and for sharing us with your network of folks. Please continue to do that. That is the way we are going to grow and make sure that we are continuing to deliver the best content to you. And with that being said, listen, please share who you want to see on the show, what type of topics you want us to cover. I am all open to your feedback. Again, this is for you. I want to make sure that we are delivering on things that matter to you and that you really care about and are passionate about. So definitely don't be shy. Leave us some feedback. Shoot us a DM at Banking on Cultura and let us know your thoughts because we take your feedback seriously and we're a familia. You are a part of this, okay? So look forward to seeing your comments. So let's get into the topic for today. So I'm hosting a mastermind, y'all. I'm hosting a mastermind in about 2 weeks. It's going to take place in June, actually over a weekend. So we kick off June 21st and June 22nd. It is a 2-day virtual mastermind specifically designed to show you how to secure 5 to 6 figure corporate and government contracts without losing your financial stability. And this is going to be helpful for you regardless if you don't know what to sell or even if you haven't started your business yet. Because listen, this is how I got put onto contracts, okay? I was in corporate for about 15 years. I worked in the private sector, sales and trading, private goods, consumer products, all the things. And then 8 years ago, I decided to bet on myself and see how far I could go. And I was lucky enough to meet a consultant who put me on and showed me how to go after 5 and 6 figure contracts. Y'all, when he told me he made 6 figures in 3 months, I was like, wait a second, I can make my entire salary that I was making in corporate in 3 months doing consulting work? Tell me how. I literally took my pen and notepad out and got to taking the notes, honey, because I was like, I need to learn this. And once I learned it and mastered it and actually started securing multiple 5 and 6 figure contracts on my own, I decided to share it with my community because I'm like, oh, wait, hold up. There's ways that we can all get to this bag. Hold up. There's ways that we can package our expertise and no longer have to work a 9-to-5 to support our families to truly achieve financial and time freedom. Wait a second. can't hold this all to myself. And so what I decided to do is take all of my intellectual property, my frameworks, my templates, my email scripts, all the strategies that have allowed me to secure these contracts over the last 8 years, and devise them all into a mini mastermind. Meaning we will take part of your day on Saturday and part of your day on Sunday. We are not spending 18 million hours together, but we are spending the exact time that we need to be very intentional to set ourselves up for success when going after these contracts. And today I want to walk through the 5 ways that you can secure corporate contracts and get the attention of executive buyers, AKA the people who are going to write you the fat ass checks. So grab your cafecito, grab your glass of wine, whatever you're doing, you're going to want to take notes during today's episode. And I want to make sure that when you take these notes, y'all, it's so imperative that you actually execute against what I am going to share, okay? It is part of the battle, okay? Not only can you consume this information, I need you actually to execute on what I am sharing with you. And the way that I'm going to hold you accountable to this, and the way that you are not going to be on this journey alone, is by joining my mastermind. So I'll put the details for you to sign up. We have less than 15 seats left. I'm keeping this super intimate because I want to be able to dive into your expertise and dive into your business model if you already started your business. And I can't do that with 50,000 people in the mastermind, right? I need to keep it cute. I need to keep it intimate. And this is also how you're able to build real solid relationships with the others in the program, okay? So make sure to check the show notes for the details and sign up. So let's get into these 5 ways, all right? So 5 ways to secure corporate contracts and get the attention of executive buyers, okay? These are tested and proven strategies, all right? So first way, all right? As soon as you meet a potential client in person, whether at a networking event, virtually, you saw them speak, maybe you even met them at the nail salon, because let me tell you something. When you are building your business, you're always on, honey. You are always on, meaning you're always paying attention to people that are passing you by, people that you meet in passing, people that are sitting next to you at a restaurant, because you just never know where that relationship can take you. All right. So the first step is whenever you meet a potential client, you need to follow up with them within the first 48 hours. Okay. And I want you to follow up with them via a phone call. All right. The goal is to get their mobile number or some way to get direct contact information. So if you guys exchange information and you only see an email, don't be shy. Say, hey, can I have your cell as well? I know sometimes emails can get lost. I know my inbox is crazy. I can only imagine your inbox. And more likely than not, they're going to give it to you if you ask, okay? But closed mouths don't get fed, honey. So try to get that phone number. And when you get on the phone with them, it's meant to be light. You're not going to oversell. You're not going to pitch. This is an informational call, meaning it's an opportunity for you to ask questions and collect data. You want to know, hey, what are your pain points? What's the urgency around these pain points? If you had a magic wand, how would you solve for this problem that you have right now? Like, what would help you sleep better at night? That is what you want to figure out. You are not selling on this call, okay? This call is about them. It is not about you. And this is what a lot of entrepreneurs, they get stuck on this. They get stuck in promoting themselves so much that they forget to listen. And the way you become a successful consultant, the way you become a successful vendor, meaning you're securing these contracts consistently, you have to be a good listener. You have to listen to what your people need, right? So that you can provide them the solution to the problem that they have. And you get paid a premium when you're able to articulate that problem. And we'll get more into that, okay? After the call, this is step 2. After the call, I want you to follow up with an email summarizing your combo and how you can relate to what they shared. And I want you to listen up for personal cues with what they shared, okay? Personally, how can you relate? Did they share a struggle that, if they're having trouble sleeping, maybe there's something you can relate to. Maybe there's a strategy you can provide there. Or they shared something personal about their family dynamics. I want you to ask those type of questions, and they will organically come up in your first conversation with them. And I want you to reiterate that. Why? Because you're showcasing that you're a good listener. You're showcasing that you can relate. You're showcasing that you see them. And most importantly, that you hear them. And as human beings, at the end of the day, all we want is to be heard and be seen, okay? And in business, we want that triple fold, all right? So if you can position yourself as such, you're already separating yourself from the pack. Next, I want you to share how your actual services can solve for the problems that they have, using the exact language that they use to express their pain points to you, okay? Now, it's important for you to use their language because, again, you are literally repeating back exactly what they shared with you during your info session. Why? We're showcasing that we're listening. We're showcasing that we understand our potential clients' needs and we have the solution, okay? And when you send that email to summarize, I want you to also include your pitch deck. In that pitch deck, you want to make sure that you have client testimonials. And if you struggle with what exactly to put into that pitch deck, because let me tell you something, ChatGPT ain't going to give you the formula, honey, because ChatGPT has never done business at that level, okay? I'm going to show you the formula and I'm going to show you exactly what you need to put in that pitch deck, because a lot of people feel like they need to have a 30-page pitch deck containing all this fluff. A pitch deck is more for formality, but it is a very significant tool because it is a representation of you. And it is what these folks are going to share internally with one another to learn about you. So you want to make sure that it is spot on. You want to make sure that it's straight to the point. And you want to make sure that it really highlights what you bring to the table. And we'll be reviewing exactly what to put in your pitch deck during the mastermind, okay? Number 3. A week after you have the call, I want you to follow up asking if there's anything that they have questions on, if there's anything you can help them walk through, given the materials that you shared with them, okay? You should also ask them when the team is expected to make a decision on next steps. Now, this is really important because it's going to give you insight into how important this really is for them. Because if it is an urgency and you want to catch clients where there is an urgency, because where there is an urgency, there is someone that is willing to pay you 10 times faster because they need to solve this problem rapidly, right away, okay? So it's important to ask them when they expect the team to make a decision, so that you can be mindful of how significant this problem really is, right? Because all of our problems, there's levels, right? There's some problems that outweigh the others, and there's problems that actually have priority over the others. And so you really want to make sure like you're clear on where they are in terms of the urgency for the problem that you can solve, all right? So again, we're listening, we're asking more questions. Also, you want to make sure that you are making it clear that you're booked and busy. You know, you are sought after. You are in high demand. Even if that is not the case, we need to act as if we are already who we are trying to become. We need to show up in spaces that way. Okay, we need to dress that way. We need to talk that way. We need to build relationships that way. Okay, so in that follow-up email, while you are asking about, hey, when is your team expected to make a decision? If there's anything I can answer for you, let me know. You're also going to end it with, and by the way, my calendar is getting booked rather quickly. So I look forward to hearing back from you because I would hate to miss the opportunity for us to create some magic together, for us to collaborate. However you want to word it, make it true to your voice. But you want to make sure that you're also creating some type of urgency because listen, executives, they're busy and you're busy too, right? You're busy building this business. You're busy doing business development. You're busy building relationships, right? You got a lot going on too, honey, okay? You can't just be out here waiting, all right? You got to make sure like you're being proactive and you're letting your potential clients know like, hey, if you don't scoop me up right quick, somebody else will, and I'm no longer going to be available, okay? And that is operating with integrity because that is how you're working, right? You are working to create a portfolio as such where you are always booked and busy, Okay. And I'm going to break more of that down inside the mastermind. All right. So these 5 topics are just a high level overview, but there's strategies here that you can implement immediately, but we'll get deeper, right? And we'll be providing more in-depth, more major league strategy inside the mastermind. So let's talk about step 4. So step 4 is more follow-up. Okay. Securing contracts happens by staying consistent in your follow-up, all right? Executives are busy and their budgets are constantly shifting, especially in this climate right now with what's going on with the economy, politically. There are decisions being made on a daily basis with how money is being spent, all right? And you want to make sure that you're top of mind when those conversations are happening. And there's so much pressure on the shoulders of these executives right now that you want to make sure that you are standing out. And the way you stand out is by staying top of mind. Let me give you a primary example. Right now, I'm in conversations with an organization to build out a podcast curriculum to teach members of their creator community how to start, build, and monetize a podcast, okay? Now, we've been in conversations back and forth, and I am diplomatically continuing to push them towards making a decision and making this a reality. And so what I decided to do is I came across this amazing article with tons of great data. And I sent it to them and I said, hey, as we continue to build out the scope of this project, here's an article to take into consideration. And I summarized the main 5 points in that article. I also ended that email with, hey, looking forward to next steps. If there's anything else I can provide that adds value to help us get to those next steps, please let me know. And you know what that did? That created that's right. I got to get back to Victoria Jenn, right? And we created another conversation and another opportunity for me to showcase value, right? For me to showcase expertise, for me to show, hey, I'm coming to you with a collaborative spirit. And this is before anything's been signed. This is before money has been discussed, because what am I doing? I'm positioning myself as a team player. I'm positioning myself as someone who understands their need. I'm positioning myself as someone who can add value. Okay? So these are the things that you need to do in the in-between time. Okay? But follow-up is king when it comes to these contracts. What I want to make sure that you take away from this as well is timing is everything. Timing is everything, okay? And you want them to think of you when the time is right, when they are ready to write that check. And that might be 6 months from now. Who cares? Your goal is to get to the bag. Sometimes that happens quickly. Sometimes it takes longer. The point is to stay top of mind, so whenever it does happen, that check is coming to you versus a competitor, right? Versus someone else. The goal here is to over communicate, always add value. So when they're ready to pull the trigger, they're thinking of you. I want you to also remember to not take things personally when you don't hear back from someone, and to not take things personally when you're constantly following up and nobody's saying anything to you. Because guess what? It can get really discouraging. And I know that because I've experienced it before, right? It could get really discouraging. But that is the nature of the game. That's just what it is. And when you know the rules of the game, then you know how to play. All right. But when you continue to follow up and showcase value, I promise you they are thinking of you. I promise you that they are paying attention. They're like, oh my God, I got to get back. I got to get back to this person. Or wow, yes. So while they're in a meeting and they're discussing with their colleagues or their peers about what they're going to do, you're staying top of mind, even though they may not have responded to your email yet. Okay. Trust me, they see it. All right. And I don't want you to get discouraged in this moment. I want you just to over communicate, continue adding value. All right. Okay. So let's go to number 5. Oh, actually, this is like a little bonus before I give you 5. Another way to stand out from the crowd, I like to use something called loom.com. And loom.com, LOOM.com, allows you to send a video response in an email versus text. So this is a great way for you to stand out, right? Because usually executives are getting text emails. But if you're able to send a video less than 30 seconds, kind of wrapping up what you discussed or sharing a data point that could be of value, right? And when you're sharing these data points, I don't want you to forget about the personal stuff that you learned about this executive, right? Maybe they said their child is going for, I don't know, skiing lessons, and you find something about, kids their age who ski, what that does for their, development mentally, right? Share that with them, right? Value is value, whether it's personal or professional. And if you can share it in a video, it's just another way for you to differentiate yourself in the marketplace, and another way for you to create momentum, right? And to be cool. People want to work with people who are cool. People want to work with people who are innovative. People want to work with people who think outside the box. So don't be afraid to be that person, because guess what? You are cool. Okay, honey? So show it. And, using loom.com and doing these different things to separate yourself from the pack, these are big league plays, right? These are you graduating from the minor leagues to the big leagues, right? This is you having real skin in the game. This is you creating a brand around the type of professional that you are. Super important. Let's get into the next step. The next step, this is also a major big league play, is I want you to host a best practices webinar for free. I want you to invite past clients and potential clients. If you don't have any past clients, that's okay. Just invite potential clients, because if the webinar is speaking to an area of opportunity, a problem that they have, they will show up to the webinar, and that is your opportunity to showcase your expertise. Now, if nobody shows up to that webinar, who cares? Use it as practice and then send the replay out to your email list. Send them into their LinkedIn inbox. Whatever it is a value add for you to host this best practices webinar. And in that webinar, you're going to showcase your expertise. You're going to show how you're able to solve the type of problems that they have. You're going to show what are you seeing in the marketplace. You're going to show why you are the best person for the job. All right. Now, these best practices webinar is a great way not only to showcase your expertise and build more credibility in the marketplace and add more value, it is also an opportunity for you to create a win. A win for you, right? Because you got people to show up to this webinar and you've created leads, right? Lead generation is super important in your business, right? You created leads, but it's also a win for them because now they have this data and this intel that you provided to them that they can then take back to their teams that makes them look good, right? Because now you're helping them become an expert. You're helping them be more informed and positioning themselves for success during their internal meetings. And when everybody wins and everyone benefits, that's when people start looking at you a little bit differently, right? That's when people want to give you business versus someone else, okay? So host these best practice webinars. Do it over Zoom. It could be super easy. I don't want you to overcomplicate this process. I don't want you to have analysis paralysis. I don't want you to think that you need to be a perfectionist here. The more practice you have, the better you will get. It is just like riding a bike, right? You ride a bike, you start with the knee pads, you start with the helmet, you start with the training wheels, right? Because you're just starting. But in order for you to learn how to ride the bike without the knee pads, without the head pad, the helmet, without the training wheels, is you actually need to get your ass on the bike, right? So it's the same thing when you're going after these contracts. You actually have to get yourself in the game. It's not going to be perfect. You're going to make mistakes. That is a part of the process. But who cares? Who cares? The fastest you're able to make the mistakes, okay? The quicker you are to step up to the plate, to hit a home run, the faster you will secure these contracts. But if you don't show up, you're never going to have the opportunity to secure the contracts, okay? So what I want you to understand is before you secure contracts, you need to be clear on the problem that you solve, okay? You need to be clear on who you are talking to. and the problems that they have. You need to know what your offer is and the ROI on that offer. AKA, you need to know what your solution is and the ROI that your potential client can expect from you offering that solution, all right? You also need to have a concise sales strategy to drive revenue into your business, AKA lead generation. You need to have a process for this. You also need to have your business set up to receive large payments, because let me tell you something. These entities, these corporate entities, these government entities, they are not gonna ask you for your Venmo and your Zelle to send you $100,000, okay? They need to know the wire information. They want your account number, okay, honey? This is about big business, all right? This is not play money, okay? This is about building legacy money, building generational wealth, replacing your salary and 10xing that bad boy, all right? So we need to make sure that your business is structured to receive large payments. And if you're stuck on where to start and you want an exact roadmap, you don't want to have to guess, you don't want to have to go to Google University or YouTube University, and you want to learn from somebody who actually is doing this every day in their business and has receipts and has secured consistent 5- and 6-figure contracts, I welcome you to join me inside my mastermind. I'm giving you insight into my entire business model, including my sales strategy, my pitch decks, my sales scripts, and all the AI tools that I'm currently using for lead generation. It's all going down inside my upcoming virtual mastermind. Join me on a Saturday and a Sunday. Drink some cafecito, bring out your notepad, and let's figure out how we can set you up for success to secure the big bag. It is time. If you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. Stop playing with yourself, okay? Stop playing with your future. Stop playing with your destiny. If anything about the current climate has taught us, it is that we have to be more intentional about how we are making our money, about how we are creating impact, about how we are building communities and infusing success into those communities. And it starts with you. So I'll put all the details inside the show notes for you to secure your seat. We have less than 15 seats left. This will be a super intimate experience, and I cannot wait to have you join me, and I'll see you then. Ciao, guys.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, I'm pretty sure you're gonna love the next one. So make sure to click right here and tap into the next episode.